Hi guys, this is Maliki and I'm going to show you the methods used to model the concrete slab on ground for our documentation for small buildings course. You should refer to the notes that are on Moodle. There's a PDF file which looks like this one, and it has got some screenshots which tie in with this video, so it may be useful to refer to that as well. First thing you can see here is this is our house, and I'd ask you to note that there's no trees, no people, no furniture, because this is a documentation model. So if your model has got trees and dustbins and playground furniture, please delete them or turn the layers off, because this is the model that we're going to do drawings for the builder. The first thing we've got to do is maybe look at the model, and you'll see at the moment that we've got a slab here on the deck, and if I was to open its settings, you can see that it's 800 millimeters deep. The author of this model probably made it that depth just so that there was no gap between the ground and the deck for the developed design drawings to show the client. We will change that to reflect the depth of some decking boards, so I'm just going to do that before we get into the organizers and views. So I just hit Control T, and up here where it's highlighted in blue, I'm just going to change that to 40 millimeters, and you'll see the deck automatically changes. I'll just go around to the one on the other side, and we'll do the same thing. I'll select that deck, Control T, and go 40. Now what we've got to do, the main thing, is to set up a view which is going to be our concrete slab view to work on. So I'm going to open my organizer, and when it appears, the plan that is going to be the template for my concrete slab is the ground floor. So I'm just going to highlight that, drag it over to plans in the view map on the right, and then I'm going to select that new one and rename it. So I'll just call it concrete slab. You can call it foundation plan, whatever you wish, as long as you know which drawing refers to the footings and foundation walls. Now the important thing then is to adjust the settings. So I'm just going to click the settings button here at the bottom. One of the most important ones that we keep stressing is the layer combination. So what we say in the notes is to use plan floor foundation, plan foundation. So I'm just going to hit where it says custom and go down to plan foundation. The scale, we can make it 1 to 100, 1 to 50, just leave it, and the rest of them you can really leave as the defaults, and then click OK. The notes talk you through layers, and if things are not appearing on our drawing, you may have to turn on some, but your tutor will show you that in class. I'm now going to highlight and open this drawing, and right away you can see that the walls have been turned off. I can see my trace reference, so you can turn that off and on if you like, but the main thing we will be drawing here is actually slabs. So what I'm going to do is go to the slab tool and just select them all, and you can see that we have some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slabs. 2 are for the deck. The one at the front we used for our subfloor framing, which you did last week. And our concrete slab, even though the author initially drew this as 2 separate slabs, we could just draw it as one. The one at the front is an entrance slab, so it may help you to just check that and have a look and see what way the slabs are drawn in your model. If I look at the subfloor slab, I haven't done the subfloor, but we'll just check and you'll see it's 20 millimeters. That's good because that's the flooring that you're going to put onto your subfloor framing. We'll look at these slabs, check, and they're 100 millimeters. If yours have been drawn for the developed design drawings, they're probably 600. So amend them and make them 100 millimeters. You can make them a composite fill if you like using this button, but I'm going to leave it just the way it is. But the important thing is to make them all 100 millimeters. Once you've done that, what we want to do is draw the foundation walls, and what we're going to have to do for that is use the beam tool. So if I go to the beam tool, which is just above the slab tool, and double click it, what you'll see is on the right there's a thing called slab thickening, because we have some favorites set up. So if you just click the favorites button, the one we want to draw is a slab foundation footing, and that is a foundation wall with a footing at the bottom. So we'll just select that one, and it says New Zealand, so that's great, and just apply it. And you'll see that we may have to make it a bit deeper. It is preset to be 100 millimeters below finished floor level, because we've got 100 millimeters of slab and we want our foundation walls to tie in with that. The width will represent the width of the footing, and we can adjust that later. So just check the beam height. The notes talk about how the beam height may have to be modified as the slope of the site falls away to the front, but that again is something we can modify later. So let's just try and concentrate on getting these beams into the drawing. So I'm just going to click OK. The notes talk about holding down the space bar, which is what I call the old Harry Potter tool, because you get a magic wand. And if I go to the slab and it turns black, I'm going to click and you'll see a beam appears. I'm going to go to another slab, click again, and sometimes you get a more complete beam than others. This one on the right has not turned out the way I want it, so I'm going to delete that one. Let's look at them in 3D. So I'm going to select all the beams, and I'm just going to say F3, it's no good, F5 is one I want to look at. And if you zoom into that, you can see that we've got a foundation wall, and we've also got the footing. To go back to my plan, really I want to draw foundation walls all around the slab, around the front. And what I may do then is just use the chained geometry method at the top. So I'm just going to start drawing again, and sometimes it depends what direction you draw in to make sure that your beam is in the right position. This one looks to have worked, which is always a relief. I'm going to draw from here, around here. I'm drawing it with this one. And I'm going to select all the beams again and hit F3, and you can see that we haven't got them all there at the moment for some reason. Hit F5. I'll look underneath my floor and see if I can find them. And you can see that this time I now have a foundation which goes all around the slab, or around the extent of our slab. You can modify these beam depths, and the notes go into a bit of detail about that, but really that is really all we want you guys to achieve. You may have to put in some other beams under load bearing walls, and that means you may have to pick a different beam profile, which you can do from the information bar. I'm going to pick slab thickening here and just draw an example, and it may not be in exactly the right position, so I'm going to drag it across to where our wall might be. And again, if I go F5 and look underneath, you can see that we've had a slab thickening has appeared here. That's the basic objective of what we're trying to do today. Your tutor will go through this with you in class again, so hopefully you can get started and get this drawing progressed, and then with your tutor's help tidy it up in class. Thank you.